and down she comes. And then you'll hear people on CNN, CNBC, oh, you can't sell now. It's too low to sell. They were saying that around Dow 9,000. And now, look, they're celebrating today, but it's still Dow 7170. That's a lot of Americans' money gone on yet another Ponzi scheme.
Well, let's go back to the 2000 dot-com bubble burst. The Nasdaq was the Dow of the 1929 stock market crash. It was at 5,000 in March of 2000. What is it now? About 1,400?
Yeah. Well, less. All right.
Less.
Yeah.
And what were the people saying back then? Oh, you have to stay in for the long haul.
Yep.
Isn't 9 years pretty long? No, these are con men. And that's what this whole thing is, by the way. You know the term con man. It comes from confidence man. And what they do is they build your confidence. And the president right now is the confidence man in chief. And all of these people on TV are confidence men. And that's what they do. They sweet talk you as they're picking your pocket.
Absolutely. Gerald, looking into the future, you've protected your financial future through gold and other investments. I've, tried to live a careful life. Do you think we as haves are at risk from the have-nots? Crime, of course, but do you personally have fear?
Oh, of course. I do. It's not a fear that I have in the sense that, I'm on the lookout. As I said, I'm a close combat practitioner. I always try to be alert to see what's going on around me. And I take the same into trend forecasting. I look to see what's going on around me. And I prepare myself as though, I'm ready for survival. I always could pull back from that. But it costs nothing, really, in real terms, to take proactive measures in anticipation of the worst. Yep. And we believe that, the worst case scenarios are really adding up to become reality. So, I have a gun. I'm ready for whatever may happen. I mean, can I catch a bullet coming in the back of my head?
Yeah.
No.
There's so much you can do.
And neither could JFK.
Sure.
So, there's always those risks.
Yeah.
But by and large, I do the best I can that's humanly possible to prepare. And that's why, as I mentioned to you before we went on the air, I started trading gold in 1978.
Jeez. Talk about seeing the future.
Well, you see, as a younger man back then, I thought what was going on back then would be now. I didn't understand all the manipulations that they could put in to prevent it from happening. I wasn't educated enough. Now we've just seen about the last round of manipulation. It's called printing more money under the guise of they're too big to fail and that we have to save the economy because if we don't do nothing, it'll be worse than doing what they're doing.
Yeah. So they print the money, flood the supply, devalue the U.S. dollar, inflation, and then, of course, all the focus could come, it already has, going from $250 to $1,000 an ounce, go into gold, something real. Gerald, I'm going to leave the future predictions up to you because I just don't know. You do it full time. Do you have any idea where you think gold might go?
Well, we've been calling for gold 2,000.
Yeah.
And we believe actually it could go higher than that. But we've been saying since 2007, gold 2,000.
Gerald, you don't want to see it higher than 2,000 because it will be Calcutta on the streets. I'll tell you.
Well, it should be higher than 2,000 now, and we believe that because of the world banks, the central banks, and other manipulations, it's keeping the price down. Because if gold prices start to escalate relative to people's fears of not buying into the paper money trail, it'll crash the world financial systems, and they're doing everything they can to prevent that from happening.
Gerald, what do you think of other people who have predicted this recession or depression, such as Nerio Robini, who they're not as outspoken as you are? Well, they kind of hedge their bet when they talk about things. They give it in percentage form. They say, well, it's going to be a recession with an L shape. they seem to get a lot of publicity. Do you think the networks are more willing to put them on the air because they're not so quote-unquote doom and gloom?
Well, it's not doom and gloom. That's the other misconception. It's calling, a situation what it is. And no, the reason why, Rubini catches up to us. He's late, but he gets there in some fashion. Now he's saying a 30% chance of depression, and you going back just it's all there. All the information's on the internet. Going back as just 2 months ago, he was saying a two-year recession. So he keeps changing as the tide keeps changing. And the reason that they like a guy like him or prefer someone like him, and of course I'm on the major media too, but not as frequently, is because I'm bad for business. I tell people don't buy crap you don't need. And Rubini and the rest of them, they're economists are one-dimensional. I'm a trend forecaster. I'm an economist. But I also look at social, political, geopolitical, consumer. We look at over 300 different trend categories, healthcare, the environment, on and on and on. And we have specialists in so many different fields, but we're also generalists. So they can't match us in terms of the range of forecasts that we make and the ability to make connections between different fields. So when I go on and say, as I said, when you look at the major media, they have to get their money through advertising. And when they ask me about auto sales and what I think and what I do, I say, I went out and bought a 1994 Audi Cabriolet, with very low mileage on it, in mint condition, for $3,800.
Yeah, that's not what I've seen you say that before, and I just think to myself, man, that is not what they want to hear you say.
Exactly. They want me to say, be stupid, go in debt, and buy a moron mobile that you don't need.
Yeah. Well, it got to the point people were changing out their cars every year and a half, strictly just for prestige. You want to, hey, I got a new car.
I have a beautiful classic car that I love.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you, it got to the point in the old days when I was growing up in the 70s, if somebody in the neighborhood got a new car, everyone would come and be excited. Hey, he's got a new. It got to the point it didn't mean a darn thing if someone bought a new car.
That's right.
Amazing. Okay, Gerald, it's been an absolute pleasure. I think what you do is wonderful because it empowers people and gives them an opportunity to not follow the lemmings down the path of disaster. You can change your future if you make the right decisions in the present.
Well, that's our motto at the Trends Research Institute, is think for yourself. And the people that are going to survive this greatest depression are those that are going to be the strongest, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and the ones that have the faith to really, invest in themselves and to find the greatness within them.
Right. Gerald, how do you subscribe to Trends Journal? I just re-upped mine the other day. How do you, what's the best way?
Well, you go on our website, trendsresearch.com. That's trendsresearch.com. And you can also see our forecast from 2008 as well as 2009, so you could see our track record and make the decision for yourself. Think for yourself.
Gerald, it's been an absolute pleasure. I enjoy you every time you're on TV. I wish you were on more often.
Well, keep contacting those stations and ask them to put me on more.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.